Nana was the star student of Victoria Noble Academy, a prestigious girls' high school renowned for its high standards. At 16, she stood out not only for her striking beauty, but also for her intelligence. Nana had always been at the top of her class, working hard to maintain her position as the best student. Every day she woke up early, put on her impeccable school uniform, and headed to school with determination. Her long black hair was always neatly tied into 2 buns, and her face radiated a natural beauty that required no makeup. As she walked through the school gates, heads turned, and whispers followed her. "There's Nana," the other girls would say. "Always perfect, always the best." But Nana paid no attention to these comments. Her sole focus was her studies. In class, she sat in the front row, eagerly absorbing every word from the teachers. Her hand was always the first to go up when a question was asked, and her answers were always correct. However, Nana's beauty became a distraction, even for the teachers, who found themselves staring at her during lessons. Mr. Thompson, the math teacher, often stumbled over his words when explaining problems to Nana. Mr. Oka, the literature teacher, couldn't help but admire her graceful handwriting and thoughtful essays. Despite this attention, Nana remained unaware of the effect she had on others. After school, while other students rushed home or to their clubs, Nana stayed in the classroom, pulling out her books to continue her studies. One evening, as the sun set, casting long shadows in the empty classroom, Nana was deeply engrossed in her literature textbook. She didn't notice someone enter the room. "Nana, you're still here?" a voice called. Nana looked up and saw Esha, one of her classmates, standing at the door. "Oh, hi, Esha," Nana replied with a smile. "Yes, I'm just finishing some extra reading." Esha approached Nana's desk, her eyes scanning the stack of books. She shook her head and let out a small laugh. "If I were as beautiful as you," Esha said, "I wouldn't bother studying so hard. You could easily get favors from the teachers who admire you." Nana's brows furrowed in confusion. "What do you mean?" Esha smirked mischievously. "Haven't you noticed how the teachers look at you? Especially Mr. Thompson and Mr. Oka. You could probably get good grades without all this extra work." Nana was shocked. She had never considered using her beauty to gain an advantage. "But that wouldn't be right," she protested. Esha shrugged. "Just a thought. Anyway, I'm heading home. Don't stay too late, okay?" After Esha left, Nana sat there, her mind racing with this new idea. She had always believed in hard work and honesty. But could Esha be right? Would life be easier if she used her beauty to her advantage? With these thoughts weighing on her mind, Nana packed up her books and headed home. The streets were quiet, lit by the soft glow of streetlights. She couldn't shake Esha's words, and for the first time, she began to see her beauty as something more than just a physical attribute. When Nana arrived home, her parents greeted her with warm smiles. They were proud of their daughter's achievements and had always encouraged her to study. But that evening, Nana was distracted during dinner, her mind still preoccupied with Esha's suggestion. In her room, instead of opening her books as usual, Nana stood in front of her mirror. She studied her reflection, noticing her clear skin, bright eyes, and delicate features. Had she been blind to the power she held? As she went to bed that night, Nana made a decision. Tomorrow she would try something different. She would see if Esha was right about the power of her beauty. The next morning, Nana woke up earlier than usual. She stood in front of her mirror, hesitating for a moment before pulling out her makeup kit, a birthday gift she had never used. With trembling hands, she applied a thin layer of foundation, a touch of blush, and a bit of lip gloss. She let her hair fall in soft waves around her shoulders. As she entered the school grounds, she immediately felt the difference. More heads turned than usual, and the whispers seemed louder. Even some teachers did a double take as she passed by. During Mr. Thompson's math class, Nana decided to test Eka's idea. When the teacher handed out a surprise quiz, Nana felt a wave of panic. She hadn't studied for this test. But then she remembered Eka's words. As Mr. Thompson collected the papers, Nana looked up at him and gave a soft smile. "Mr. Thompson," she said gently, "I hope I did well on this quiz. I really want to keep my good grades in your class." Mr. Thompson seemed flustered. "I'm sure you did fine, Nana. After all, you're my best student." The next day, when Mr. Thompson returned the graded quizzes, Nana was surprised to see a perfect score on her paper. She knew she hadn't answered all the questions correctly. Had Esha been right? Encouraged by this result, Nana tried the same approach with other teachers. A smile here, a kind word there, and suddenly she was getting good grades on tests she hadn't studied for. At first, it was a relief. She could finally relax instead of staying up late studying. But as the days went on, Nana began to rely more and more on her appearance. She studied less, confident that a smile or a flutter of her eyelashes would be enough to maintain her top spot in class. And for a while, it worked. However, Nana didn't notice the growing resentment among her classmates. The girls who had once admired her now whispered behind her back. They saw how the teachers favored her, how she seemed to succeed without the effort they put in. Echa watched it all with a mix of satisfaction and jealousy. She had planted this idea, but she hadn't expected Nana to succeed so well. As Nana's grades remained high and her study time dwindled, Echa's jealousy grew. One afternoon, as Nana was leaving school, she overheard two teachers talking in an empty classroom. She stopped by the door, listening. "Have you noticed how Nana's been acting lately?" It was Mr. Oka's voice. "Yes, it's quite a change. She seems to be using her charm more. It's becoming a problem." Mr. Oka responded, "The other students are starting to complain. They think we're showing favoritism." "Well, can you blame them?" Mr. Thompson chuckled. "She's a beautiful young woman. But you're right. We need to be careful." Nana's heart pounded as she hurried away from the door. For the first time, she felt a pang of guilt and fear. What had she set in motion? That night, Nana couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned, thinking about what she had overheard. The teachers were noticing her behavior and seemed to expect something in return for their favors. This wasn't what she had intended when she started this experiment. The next day at school, Nana felt uneasy under the teachers' gazes. Every smile, every compliment now felt loaded with expectation. She realized she had opened a door she didn't know how to close. After class, Nana sought out Echa. She found her sitting under a tree in the school courtyard, scrolling through her phone. "Echa, I need to talk to you," Nana said, her voice trembling slightly. Echa looked up, a faint smile on her face. "What's up, beauty queen? Enjoying your new life?" "I think I made a mistake," Nana said. "The teachers, they're starting to expect more than just smiles in exchange for the favors they're giving me." "What do you mean?" Echa asked. "I overheard them talking," Nana explained. "They expect something from me. I don't know what to do. This is going too far." Echa was silent for a moment, then leaned closer. "Listen, Nana, you've gone this far. Don't back out now. If the teachers want more, give them what they want." Nana stepped back, shocked. "What? No, I can't do that." "Why not?" Echa pressed. "It's just one more step. Think of all the advantages you've gotten. Do you really want to give it all up?" "No, Echa, it's wrong. I never should have started this. I'm stopping it now." As Nana walked away, she didn't see the dark look that crossed Echa's face. She didn't know that her decision to stop would trigger a series of events that would upend her life. The next morning, Nana woke up determined to set things right. She tied her hair back into two buns as usual and went to school without makeup. She was ready to face the consequences of her actions and return to her old ways of hard work and honesty. But as soon as she stepped onto the school grounds, she knew something was wrong. Students were gathered in small groups, whispering and pointing at her. Confused and anxious, Nana headed to her classroom. As she entered, the room fell silent. Her classmates stared at her with a mix of disgust and pity. Nana's heart began to race. What was going on? It was Esha who finally broke the silence. "Well, well, well," she said loudly. "If it isn't the teacher's little pet. Or should I say, the little tramp?" Nana felt as though she'd been slapped. "What are you talking about?" she asked, her voice shaking. Esha stood up, a cruel smile on her lips. "Oh, come on, Nana. Everyone knows what you've been doing to get those good grades. Sleeping with the teachers? That's low, even for you." Nana's world spun. "That's not true," she cried. "I never did that." But her protests fell on deaf ears. The rumor had spread like wildfire through the school. At that moment, Madame Agatha, the school principal, appeared at the classroom door, her face stern and her voice cold. "Nana, come to my office immediately." Nana followed the principal through the hallways, feeling the weight of every stare. Tears welled up in her eyes. In Madame Agatha's office, the principal wasted no time. "Nana, I've heard very disturbing rumors about your behavior with the teachers. These are serious accusations." "But it's not true," Nana pleaded. "I never did such a thing. Yes, I tried to use my appearance to get better grades, but I never went further than that. I swear." Madame Agatha's expression remained hard. "Whether it's true or not, the damage is done. Parents are calling, threatening to pull their children out if you remain at this school. You've become a liability to us, Nana." The ground seemed to fall out from under Nana's feet. "What does that mean?" she asked, her voice trembling. "It means," Madame Agatha replied with a sigh, "that we have no choice but to expel you from Victoria Noble Academy." The shock hit Nana like a physical blow. Expelled. Her perfect record. Her dreams of graduating at the top of her class. Everything was crumbling in an instant. As she left the principal's office, Nana's world in pieces, she caught sight of Etcha in the hallway, a triumphant smile on her lips. In that moment, Nana realized the full extent of her supposed friend's betrayal. The days that followed passed in a blur of tears and arguments. Nana's parents were devastated by the news of her expulsion. They didn't believe the rumors, but they were angry and disappointed that Nana had tried to use her appearance to succeed. "We raised you better than this," her father said, his voice heavy with disappointment. Her mother, more pragmatic, declared, "We need to find you a new school. You can't let this failure ruin your future." After days of searching, Nana's parents managed to enroll her in Ika High School, a public school far from the prestige of Victoria Noble Academy. Standing in front of Ika's gates on her first day, Nana felt like a different person. The confidence of the top student was gone, replaced by a lost and broken girl. But as she took a deep breath and stepped through the school gates, she made a silent promise to herself. This was her second chance, a chance to prove she was more than just a pretty face, a chance to show the world and herself that she could succeed on her own merits. Nana didn't know that her journey at Ika High School would bring its own set of challenges and revelations. This was only the beginning of Nana's story. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the second part of the story. Also, leave a comment with your country's flag to show us where you're watching from.